This was one of the toughest lineups I've done in my 15 years of cutting hair. And today I'm going to show you exactly how I handled it without pushing him back, without losing the shape, and without lying to him. You see, my client has a super thin, super wavy hairline, and his biggest pain point is simple. He doesn't want his forehead showing. So he told me that most barbers push him back or ignore what he wants. So I'm going to walk you through why I make every decision, not just by what I'm doing, but because premium barbering is a mindset, angles, and having the right intention behind everything, right? So let's break this down step by step so you can actually apply this to your next lineup. So first things first, before I even touch clippers to his head, I established the length on top, and with the length, I use the hairline as my first guide. I take vertical sections. I do the mohawk area to kind of keep things simple. I shoot straight up. I don't angle it because if you round too early, you expose the head shape. And on a client with thin front density like this, that's a death sentence. So be very careful that you're building weight, not taking off weight. So once we establish the length, we move over to horizontal sections. This is going to be easy to find that guide, and that's going to be a tall tale sign if you did these things right, is you'll see that guide. Stay between that guide. Don't round off too much to the parietal ridge. The parietal ridge is the side of the head. Because you don't want to reveal too much of the head shape. We want to keep things symmetrical, and we also want to preserve that hairline as much as we can. Now that the scissor work is done, I'm moving over to drying out his hair. I'm not trying to cause any breakage or anything, but what I am doing is I'm trying to create a nice silhouette for the front for when I line up his hair with my trimmer. I'm trying to make it as easy as I can because I don't know if you can tell, there's a slight wave to his hairline. And we're trying to make it as straight as we can without using any product, because when you add product too early, you don't know how the hair is going to react. So this is a great method to kind of see, or like a patch test, right? This is a great method to test out how the hair is going to react when it's dry. So now that the hair is completely dry, I'm gonna apply a little bit of hairspray to lay those hairs down. Any hairspray will do good. Don't overthink this part. Just don't put too much because it's going to make the trimmer work a little harder, and it won't make those straight lines. So now I am using fibers. The reason why I use fibers is I use them as a guide. There's a big difference between trying to cover up mistakes and using them as a guide. So right here, I'm trying to build density where there is literally no hair. So fibers are a great way to assist with lineups like this. So once you have it all prepped, this is what it should look like. Don't expect it to be dark or anything. You're not supposed to put a shit ton of fibers. If you put too much fibers, then there's a problem there already. But anyways, we start in the middle. We follow that natural wave pattern in the beginning. This is going to be a rough draft for the end result, okay? So this won't be the first time you're going to do a pass through of the lineup, but be very careful. And I want you to pay attention here because this is where barbers mostly mess up, especially on his hairline. From what he told me, that most barbers just push him up to pretty much really high, and then the regrowth is crazy. So he's been growing out his hair, if I want to say, about maybe 6 months now before he actually got a cut. One of the key things that I want you to focus on is you're not forcing a straight line here into a crooked hair pattern. You're pretty much negotiating with what the hair is giving you and just working with it. There's nothing else you can do, especially with the hairline like this. It's super thin, so you need to preserve as much as density as you can. So when I was charging $20, I would have been terrified of a lineup like this. The only difference now is I believe that I can do these things, and I have the right intention. So my intention here is to give him the most straightest, perfect lineup that I can. You know, that's my belief now. Like, I know that I can do these things, and that's what's going to separate you from other barbers too. Like most barbers would have just said, you know what, I'm going to do this however. He wears a hat anyways. I'm just gonna rush him and get him out. But no, this is not how this works. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's all a mindset. You guys have to believe that you guys can do these things. Because if you don't, then you're gonna lose the fucking race. Okay. So I'm setting in my first guideline and I'm dropping it down just a little bit under the occipital bone to give myself a little bit more room. Then following that, I'm doing my clipper all the way open and I'm working all the way to the C cup. And yes, I am stretching it out just a little bit more, just to give myself the extra room to blend. Following that action, I'm doing my 1.5 all the way close, and I'm really working that parietal ridge, making sure that I don't dig into it. I'm just flicking out and making it fluffy. So whenever I do go into it with the longer guard, I know exactly how it's going to react. This is how you build weight with the clipper using my comb placement technique. This gives me more control over the parietal ridge, making sure I don't dig into it too deep. Right after you get done with that, move on to your one guard. You're going to blend a sandwich between the 1.5 and the half, and then you're going to flick in and out before moving on. Now to connect the whole blade together, use your half guard. Be sure using your corners only, okay? Don't use the whole blade, because if you do, all you're just gonna do is just gonna create more guidelines, and you wanna keep things relatively low, especially with hair texture like this. His hair density is already really low as it is, so you need that room for error, all right guys? So be careful with using the whole blade. Okay, so now close your clipper all the way and be sure you're flicking in and out. You don't want to create more guidelines, and this is probably one of the hardest things to learn as a barber, especially in the beginning stages, because people always tell you lever play, all this shit. But essentially what lever play is you're going in and out, going up a notch or going down a notch. That's all it is. And as you can see here, I'm only using the corner of my blade, and that's all I'm doing. And you're gonna do this until you remove that line completely. Okay, don't move on until this piece is completely done, because if you hit more than one spot than you're targeting, you're just gonna create more problems and you're gonna hate yourself later. Slap on a foreguard and you're going to go in and out of that bulk on the parietal ridge, and you're just gonna see what it does, because you don't want to reveal too much of the roundness of his head, but you also want to keep that contrast. Okay, so the foreguard is a perfect size for this. Right after that, as you can see, there's a little line right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my one guard and I'm going to blend that out all the way open, and I'm flicking as hard as I can, guys. I'm not going in and out as like a robotic, but I'm flicking and trying to keep that fluid motion. So now we're just going to work the bulk, and we're going to do forward graduation. What this does is going to help us create that weight that we're looking for without taking off too much length. Okay, and this is what I was saying earlier. You need to be careful not to dig in too much into that parietal ridge, because this is what's going to help you establish that shape without revealing how circle and how round this head shape is. And as you can see, like the growth patterns, there's a slight wave to it, and this is and that's the way that you want to cut. The exact wavelength is the exact direction you want to cut. Remember that. Another thing that I want to mention is weight is your best friend on a weak hairline. Too many barbers try to fade it away instead of supporting it. And this is me trying to support it. So if you guys are following to a T, let me know in the comments down below if this helped you or not. I really want to help you guys. Be sure to be clear on what stood out to you the most, and we're all learning here, right? You know, I'm learning to teach you guys my methods, and I'm hoping, you know, that this can help you guys out on your next lineup. Like, I also want you to understand something. Clients like this will pay for clarity. Doesn't matter the price. If they feel like they can trust you, they will pay. This is exactly why I always tell my barbers, you need to specialize in something. Stop posting the haircuts that you don't want to do. If it's haircuts like this, don't post them. But if you are up for the challenge, then you are going to be paid the most, I promise you, because you're specializing in something. Specialize in whatever it is: beards, lineups, designs, scissor work, whatever it is. You need to specialize. Because here's the bottom line: if you want to charge $100, you can't be scared to spend 2 or 3 extra minutes perfecting symmetry or perfecting the haircut. Clients will remember exactly what you're doing. Trust me. Clients know when you're rushing them. They just don't want to say anything. So this client actually requested enhancements. So before I apply any kind of paint, I like using my Barber pencil. I like using the beige color. I feel like that's like the most natural looking one opposed to the white one. I feel like the white one looks too much like chalk, if I'm being honest with you. So, and the way you use it is you want to emphasize the contrast of the scalp. The lighter you can make the scalp, the more that blend is gonna pop. I promise you. Barbers, cuts like this, I promise you, will teach you the most about patience, precision, and confidence. If you got value from my process, please let me know in the comments down below what helped you out the most. And just so you know that I will be dropping high-level, real-time tutorials every single week to help you become the premium barber, in-demand barber. So subscribe if you want to level up your craft and your mindset. I'll see you in the next one. I got you.